we have a problem. We have a teeny tiny pinhole leak on the overflow bit just under here. It was dripping up coolant the other day when I came back home from a cruise. Old brass radios like this, yes, they can develop leaks, especially on those brittle bits like that one around my overflow area. But if you see my previous videos, like I literally just got this thing back in the car after cleaning the bloody thing out. And I got the car running really good too. So I'm gonna pull the friggin' thing out again and then, actually, I might have something in the boot. Hang on. Let's go hunting for treasure. Has anyone else got a bag of shit now? Okay, what's that? Transmission fluid, jumper leads, timing light. That's optimistic on the road tuning. All the fuses in the world. Oh, maybe it was optimistic. No! Yes! Tank repairer! Yes, a use for you! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you from the depths of my boot full of treasure, this here Dynasteel metal tank repair. I bought this on a whim probably 8 years ago, I reckon, and I've been hoping never to use it, but today we use it. We are going to fix that friggin' pinhole leak using this stuff. It's an epoxy, and let's have a crack at it together. All right, let's open her up. I've got some instructions here. Oh, feels like I should put a charge in there and the thing would bloody blow up. It reminds me of like C4 you'd see in all those action movies. Now the instructions say you've got to clean up the area that you're trying to seal up, so I'm going to try and get in there, get rid of as much of that coolant as I can. Maybe I'll rough it up a little bit with some Scotch-Brite or something. I actually had a look through that bag and found this. If you're stuck on the side of the road, they give you a bit of sandpaper and a bit of gauze as well, so if you've got a gaping big hole that you need to seal up, then you've got the tools ready to go. See, things that can get you out of trouble. Wow, I like stuff like that. I'm going to just try and rough it up as good as I can. It's going to be pretty hard to get the sandpaper down in there, right on the crevice of this bit. That looks good enough to me, and on this car, close enough is good enough. So the instructions said cut off the amount that you need, which for me, I don't think it's that much. Start kneading it together, and then once it becomes warm to touch, you've got a couple of minutes to actually apply it. It also says you have to apply it to 12 millimeters all the way around, or in all directions of the bit that you're trying to seal. Now, we don't have that much room. I'm just gonna try and do what I can. Now, I'll cut this. I reckon I might need, I don't know, that much? That much? That much? Let's just go that much. I mean, that's bigger than the bloody bit. Oh, look, better to have more than not enough. I've cut way too much for this tiny job, but what are you gonna do? Ooh, there's a smell about it. Smells like a foundry. Look at my hands. Maybe wear gloves if you're doing this, folks. Looks like old blue tack, doesn't it? Something you'd find behind your couch. Now that's warm to touch now, so I have to work fast. This is only a pinhole, it's not the, what do you call that thing? Niagara Falls. Gosh, I might only need that much. I've got to be careful to make sure that I can actually close the radiator cap, hence why it's off, so I can get in. It doesn't look like it wants to apply to that, so yeah, we tried to sand stuff before. Yeah, you probably should sand it, all the bits that you want to stick it to, not just the repair bit. That I reckon's overkill, but you can't be too careful because these things are under pressure. Now it's really warm in my hands now, like you can actually feel there's a bit of heat coming off that ball. Might as well go over the whole thing, make it like a loop. I'll show you my work in a moment. That's closed, no markings, we've got plenty of room. Okay. It's already starting to go pretty hard. Check that out. There's a close-up of my handiwork there. You can see I've sort of just tried to capture the whole sprout, or whatever you want to call that thing. That way it gives it hopefully a bit of strength, and yeah, that little pinhole doesn't reappear again. This is what my leftovers are. I mean, I did use way too much for that tiny bit, but hey, better to have more than not enough, and already it's pretty hard. It's It's only been about 5 minutes or so. So I reckon I only paid like 20 or 25 bucks for that back in, oh, probably about 8 years ago, which in today's money is probably like 900 bucks with, you know, inflation in the economy. But just having it there has meant now, you know, past self is looking after present self, it's saved me so much time. It's probably not that big of a deal getting it soldered up, but it's a public holiday tomorrow. I want to drive the car. I've only just got it back in there and I don't want to deal with having to drain the coolant, filter the coolant, reusing it, blah, 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 blah. So great time saver. Is it going to be permanent? Hopefully. We're going to give the car a drive over the next couple of days and come back and reassess and see if it's done its job. But first I must finish my beer and clean my hands of this disgustingness. It is 35 degrees here, folks. I don't know if you can see that on the phone. It is blazingly hot. Just come back from a cruise and I'll show you how well that epoxy is holding up. Check this out. Look at that. Not a leak, nothing. Dry as a bone, and this thing has been, well, it's been earning its keep for the last half hour. I'll give you the big tip. So there you go. If you want to carry some of that epoxy stuff around with you, just in case you have a leaky somewhere, spend the 25 odd bucks and bloody do it. It is a absolute ripper of a product, and it's got me out of a pinch. It saved me having to disassemble all of the stuff that I chucked in there and spend another weekend not being able to do what I've just done, which is go for a drive and solve more problems that I've made myself. Anyway, you can see what I've done in other videos, but there you go. Enjoy.